Okay. What are we talking about today, Manders?
We are talking about Dunlap.
Dunlap, Tennessee.
Which Randy calls DuPont.
I can't remember Dunlap. I mean, I've been saying it for a couple weeks now.
I know. Well, it really doesn't roll off the tongue. Dunlap.
It's kind of. I was thinking about is Dunlap over.
I know that's a joke. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so Dunlap, Tennessee.
Oh, by the way, I cut my own hair. So if you guys are like,
it don't show. You can't tell.
If you're looking at my hair,
you can't tell that he cut his own hair, can you?
No, in the back, I don't know. So I get over in the bathroom, I can't see behind me, but anyway, I don't have time to go to the barber.
Okay. Oh, let's see. You don't have time to go to the barber. You never go anywhere. You sleep on the floor. I forgot about that. What else do you do?
My life is over.
Oh, poor Randy. We're going to take up a donation for him.
You guys are overwhelmed. You're overworked. You're doing more.
God hates me. That's all I know. God hates me. Okay. Write something on the board, teacher.
Listen, we come across this beautiful piece of property. I hope it's still for sale. I don't know.
We don't know if it's still for sale. I don't know.
I hope the teller sells it to me. God.
Oh, my
You're
God.
like the worst developing-ers ever.
Yes.
Developing-ers.
Developing-ers.
Yes.
I like that. I'm going to write that down. Developing-ers. All right. So what are we doing today, Randy? Welcome to Incredible Tiny Homes. You will regret watching this show. Okay?
Yes.
Number one. Number two, this property, it is not something that we have to do at all. Nothing we have to do, but we've seen this piece of property. Randy, actually, how did it come about that you found this?
So the gentleman came to Tim and said, hey, we've got some land in Dunlap.
The guys visited here
two or three
times.
He visited, and finally I got to go see it, and I was like, man. Then I took you, and you seen it.
It's beautiful.
It's like, wow.
Well, we showed it on the video. So we've done 2 videos already, and I think we did the drone footage too. The drone footage is only like a minute long or something like that. But and that is their footage that they've done. So this property is for sale. Listen, we're kicking around the possibilities. What do we want to do with this property? And I mean, it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's probably, to me, I think it's the prettiest property that we've ever viewed, that we've looked at.
I think so, just because of the surroundings, and it's a golf course.
Yeah.
And it was all growed up. In COVID, it had been let go.
Yes.
They come back, try to do a little bit, and they shut it down. There wasn't enough people to keep it up. So the grass grew up really tall. The clubhouse had been shingles that blew off. Anyway, they've reclaimed it. Looks really good now. And because of the landscaping in that area of Tennessee, with these big, huge, long ridges with valleys, this is called the Sequatchie Valley. And there's a lot of history there.
Yes.
I didn't know it, but there's a huge, a person here that I know for years told me today that they're from around there, and they have strawberry festivals there. It's really big.
Really?
I looked on the internet. There's only 10,000 people in that county.
Really?
Yeah. And then you're only 25, 30 miles to Chattanooga.
Yes.
So you're actually closer to Chattanooga than we are here to
now,
Knoxville.
When we were driving back, right there was that big water tower that said Crossville. So Crossville was only like 20 minutes down the road, wasn't it?
No, it's a little further than that.
Was
Crossville
it?
was like 45 minutes due north.
Was it?
I-75, it says on the internet. You Google it. And it's 35 miles to I-75, which goes north and south Florida.
And keep in mind too, this is a different time zone too. It's an hour difference from here.
It's right on
It's right there.
edge,
it is.
So it's Central Time.
So it's an hour ahead.
Hour behind.
An hour behind. Yeah, it's an hour behind us right
here. But it's right on the edge of the Central Time zone. But anyway, we've seen this. It was a beautiful piece of property. I want to tell you how I do things. And it's worked so far. It's been very hard how we do business, but it's worked so far in the fact that when we see a potential piece of property that we've done this, if you guys have followed us, is that we look at it, and sometimes I'll maybe get a contingent contract on it, just like, okay, we'll see what we can do. But I go back all the way back when I was teaching school, and I remember I found a piece of property.
Oh, okay.
And it was 7 acres, and I didn't have the money to buy it.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I'm not buying it till I save up the money.
Yeah.
And it took me a year to save up that money.
And that piece of property was still available?
Well, what happened was it was amazing. I saved up for a solid year. And I went to that property and walked it.
Really?
Every week I'd go and walk. The owner, nobody lived on it. So I'd walk it. I didn't know anything about trees and all this stuff, but I thought I can't afford to build a house. So I looked into what kind of trees, and I got my little book out. That's a pine tree, jack pine, and all this time. So then I ended up tagging them all, called TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, and they have all their sawmills, and they help you do all that stuff. And I said, I got this many trees. They're this big. They're this tall. They're this long. How much operable lumber can I get out of it? I hadn't even bought the land yet.
Yeah.
Tagged them all with these little ribbons I put around it, and I don't know if the owner knew about it. And I didn't talk to the owner, never mentioned nothing, zero. And I said, I'm not even going to buy it, nothing until I get the money.
Yeah.
I remember I'd saved up $15,000. Took me a whole year.
Yeah.
And I remember driving
That's a big deal.
I remember driving up to the property. It was 7 acres. I remember driving up to the property, and the owner was pulling up the sign. That day.
No.
He was putting it in his truck. And I got out of my car and I said, Sarah, I said, is this land still for sale? And he goes, well, you know what? He said, it's been up. He said, I've had this up for sale for over a year, and I've had nobody ask me for it. He said, I'm just putting the sign in the truck.
Really?
I said, I got cash money right now. I'd like to buy it from you.
Oh my gosh.
Bought it.
How much was it?
$15,000.
The 7 acres?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys, think about 7 acres
but
now.
But that's how I did it then.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And that was 80, when was that?
1989.
Okay, 89.
Yeah, 1989. And I remember I thought, I'm not going to do it. And we're still doing it now this way. And I don't want to, like, everything we have here is paid for.
Yeah.
We don't have a note on nothing here.
Yeah.
No banks, no lines of credits.
Yeah.
And it has been awful hard.
It has.
It has been hard because you rely on yourself to create this income.
Yeah.
You don't rely on, well, I got a bank note, I must just pay my payment, right?
It ain't like that.
No, man, we're on our own. And so this land.
And two, we chose to be that way, okay? There's a reason why we went that way. It's, we know other people, how they do it. They do it a more traditional, and they go ahead and go in debt and things like that. We didn't want to do that. We had the resort before and losing everything. There was a lot of things that we learned that we did not want to get caught with big notes.
Well, after we lost the resort, nobody will give us a loan.
Yes, correct.
We couldn't get a loan for any of this. We did anyway.
No.
That's why I love, Cobb County, a few of the people in this county that really reached out to us, and they were really good to us. Lucas Graham, Jeff Green, your city attorney. Those guys reached out to us and said, we want you on this property. We're going to help you. And that's the only way we got on this 34 acres.
And this property, nobody else wanted this property. I mean, nobody was even trying to get this property.
Nobody wanted that 7 acres.
They did not.
Nobody wanted this acreage. And
nobody wanted the resort
Nobody wanted Brothers Cove. It was 160 acres. It was for sale for over 3 years, and nobody wanted it. And then when I bought it for $1,000 an acre in 1994, it just took off.
And it is still one of the top resorts, and it is one of the, if not the top wedding venue in the county.
Yeah.
And it's a
beautiful. Go to brotherscove.com. It's a resort. I built it from being a school teacher. And you guys, when I say that resort, I think people are going to say, well, he had partners and had money. His dad gave him money and started him out and all that. Man, the stories I can tell you.
It is a one-man show right here.
Come from nothing, just like this.
That's right. Came from nothing.
That's why we're still taking. When I seen that golf course, I seen it. I thought, oh, this is a lot of money. But I was like, you know what? This can happen. This can work.
Yeah,
this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of property. It's still gorgeous East Tennessee, which we love East Tennessee. It's still the great climate, the great people, the great landscaping.
Now, something that one of the owners said about the weather, talk about that. It is more mild there than it is here.
It is here, It's a little further south. Yeah. Chattanooga hardly ever gets any snow.
Yeah.
Hardly ever.
He said this hardly ever gets snow.
If it does snow there, you just stay home and you wait for it to melt.
Yeah.
And if it snows, it's gone the next day or two, but it's really pretty when it does.
And and we know it's a little bit different how we're trying to present this because it is a golf course, and we know that we're trying to present it with, you're going to be using a golf cart to get to your tiny home, right? Yeah. And I'm kind of excited about that. I like the difference of it. I like the whole deal of it. My parents would have liked this whole deal. My
mom and dad too.
Your mom and dad would have loved it.
My mom and dad would have loved it. Even in their 90s, they would have loved it.
It's a whole different concept, guys, and it's something that the land itself deserves to have no sound and no car traffic on it. It
right.
reminds me, I went a few years ago to Mackinac Island, and I don't know how many people's been there in Michigan.
Northern Michigan, yeah.
And it is absolutely gorgeous. They do not allow vehicles there. And it is so quiet. It is so nice. It is almost like I mean, just sitting there, I was at my hotel room, and it's like these big, old colonial houses and just older houses and things like that. And sitting there and to not hear vehicles, I'd never heard that before, never. So that was an experience within itself. So we're trying to create a whole different environment, and it is not going to be as inconvenient as what you're thinking. It's going to be way more convenient, way more normalized to do it, and we're going to make it as easy as possible. When you park your car and you have your charging station and you have your golf cart, transferring your things from the store, there is going to be access to get your things to the tiny home. That's one of the things that I know people were asking it in a serious question, but you got to think, we're not going to have a tiny home sitting up there that you cannot get your furniture to, okay? So we're going to have access to get there. And one of the things that you brought up that I really love is that the main parking may not be the only main parking. There may be other places that there will be parking that's closer to others. So there might be sections of parking.
Right.
So it's not going to be as inconvenient.
I drew a kind of a map, and it's not an accurate map, but it's similar to where, you got, a port. So it's 138 acres.
Yeah.
Spread out over.
Let me see if that's dark enough. Can you use a darker color, please?
Spread out over.
I got it.
800 acres.
Yeah.
So so if it was 138.
Yeah, so they can see it.
And
better.
so if you got a portion here, then you got, that's how a golf course goes,
Yeah.
And then this here and over here. Then you got this great big section down by the main road, and it goes up.
And you've seen the property. We showed, we did pretty good at showing. We drove around, and then the drone footage and stuff like that. So, and it's just little pockets everywhere.
Yeah, and there's a main road that runs, and it goes all the way up to this big ridge, right? It access, and you got a main road down here too.
Yep.
So all this will be worked out where there might be a parking area here and here.
Yeah.
So you're not going to all drive from the main entrance
from the
down
main
here.
part all the way.
So, anyway.
But I just wanted to bring that up as that's one of the main concerns that people was talking about is the parking and how to get to their home and stuff. So that was one of the main things. The other thing that people were bringing up was about the water, power, sewer, all of that.
Mm-hmm. So they'll have all underground utilities.
Love that.
Yep. Everything, water, power, sewer, of course, is underground. Power is underground, no overhead lines.
Yeah.
And I've never done a development yet that was above ground utilities.
Yes.
Like power.
I know.
The water is utility water from the city, and also there's 7 wells that's been drilled on.
Yes.
Now, wherever the water comes from, either the city or the wells, they've all been beautifully done, and they've got this all irrigated. All these are irrigated.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful place.
And this piece of property is in the county.
Yeah. Now, the sewer is actually going to be for every house is going to have their own sewer.
Okay.
It's not going to have a big sewer system.
Okay.
So we have to put a sewer
system. So they'll have
system.
a septic tank? Is that what they'll have? Okay, so they'll have a septic tank.
And so when you mentioned the golf carts. Listen, this may not be for you.
Right, it's not for everybody.
That's
right.
Fine. I like it, just like what you said. It's adventurous, it's fun. It keeps it a beautiful, unique community. I know when I talked to Mark, the owner, when we walked around and he just said, he said, man, we'd like to keep the serenity of this place.
Bingo, that's what we're trying to capture,
and I totally agreed. I said,
yeah.
I would care taking my groceries, putting it in my golf cart, and I'm going to the house.
Right.
And when you get to your home, you plug it up. You can have a garage. You can have a carport. You can have things. This is going to be a beautiful community.
Right.
And we want it to be pretty.
Right.
It is going to be pretty. So what we've done today is we're going to show you some of what we're offering on this community. We're offering more on this one than we've ever offered on any piece of property we've ever developed.
Yeah, and one of the first things...
I'm going to get a paper towel and wipe that off.
Okay. One of the first things that we want to talk about is that, in the comments we know that said, oh, well, I would want to put a Dalton on there. I would want to put an Incredibox on there, an Add-A-Box and things like that. Well, right now, just at the beginning, we're just going to start with 2 of the homes and stuff. And the reason why is that we want to we want a certain look that's going to be there, right? Not that these things may not be added later, but there is two of the homes, and Randy will go into it more too about more of the reasons. But one of the reasons that I like about it and that I agreed about it is that we're going to do the Amanda, the 12 by 40, and of course the Birmingham is the two that we're going to start with, and that we may stay with completely. We don't know that, so that's just for my sake. The beauty of it, it matches the property. I think it will look absolutely stunning.
The clubhouse
to have those.
there,
the clubhouse, it would match the clubhouse.
Yeah, it fits
it's
that.
It's a theme.
Yeah, and I shouldn't erase the map, but the map, you know how it had all these different places, right?
Yeah.
We're actually thinking about putting themes on different. I guess
in
those
different
would be
sections.
Holes and fairways. You know, like 9-iron, the 9-hole, the 10th hole, 11th hole. We may put a theme on the entire hole right there.
Sure.
You know, I really don't know where we would put. Listen, there's not a bad.
There
spot
ain't a bad spot there,
place.
and there is some wooded areas as well.
There is.
So,
and I really don't even know all the boundaries. You know, all I know is the part that Mark took us on, and we went around and looking at all of it. I said, "This is a no-brainer." This is
man,
gorgeous,
it is. It's so pretty. But talk about the two houses, the two model homes. That's all.
We're looking at just right now the Birmingham and the Amanda. And the reason we're choosing those two is because they are one floor living. That's mostly the people who are going to be moving here are going to be singles and couples. They're going to be probably
one level
retiring
living
on this property.
Yeah.
Most of us, our clientele is over 55. Gorgeous place. But it's the Birmingham and the Amanda, 120,000 and 159.9, I believe.
A 12 by 40 and a 10 by 34. 10 by 34.
So, but let me just show you what we're doing is these homes, all you have to do is purchase the home. There's no key money, there's no lot money, there's no any of this stuff.
Just buying the home.
Buy the house.
Yeah.
And for the first 50 people, right?
Okay.
50. This is our number. You know, we always come up with a number, right? It takes so many people to make this thing happen.
Yeah.
So for the first 50 people, you are going to get a 30-year lease.
30-year lease.
Right? 30 years. And it's yours. 30 years. And the lot rent is $400 a month for 30 years.
Yeah. Now that's for the first 50 people though.
All right. It will not go up.
For 30 years.
It's not going up.
When Randy's the one that threw this out there and we're like, what?
Well, it's people want to know. They're on a fixed income. They're
That's right.
I want to know if you're going to charge $800 when you guys get popular and you're going to get rich. Everybody always says that. Like, I'm going to be changing. Like, I'm going to get $1,000 a month from. That ain't happening, guys. We're still getting $200 a month out here.
Exactly.
So this is $400. There's more work involved in this. This is a golf course. We have to keep it mowed and cleaned.
The maintenance on this, this is a different property altogether, and that's the only reason that it's even more than the $200.
Yeah.
The mowing alone that we have to do on this property to maintain.
We were over in North Carolina a couple years ago, visited one of our customers. She paid over $600 a month. And they were just in
I know, yes.
with hardly any room.
I know.
600. This is 10 times that property.
Right.
And it's only 400.
I know.
So we're still affordable living.
And two, just go back to this, 30 years, a fixed rate, $400.
Fixed rate. The only up on that rent right there is, like we said before,
cost of living.
Is there a cost of living in the country, in the whole United States? So if the cost of living, every year they said, hey, the cost of living went up 2.0%. Or 0.2% or whatever. That's the only part. It'll go up $5 or $10, whatever. We're just going to file. And if it goes zero, no rent. We went 2-3 years and didn't cost of living in the United States. Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
All right. But that's the only thing. That's the only.
When you said that it went up 0%, I said, you mean they have to tell us that they gave us nothing? They have to say that.
It's a national. And they really.
thing. Yeah.
I remember my mom was on Social Security and all
that. She was. Yeah.
And
I remember.
As the cost of living went up, they got a little raise. That's,
exactly.
Well, I got $15 more on my check, or something.
I know.
We're going to take it on your rent, okay? All right. So you have a fixed cost on your $400. That's your rent, and you're not. All you have to do is buy the house.
Now, okay. So now, is it by any house, the Amanda or the Birmingham? Correct.
We already talked about that. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't see it on the boards though.
Well, I can't write that high. I'm short. All right. Free delivery.
Yes.
and setup.
Setup, and that's for the first 50. First 50.
All you have to do is buy a house there, buddy.
Heck of a deal.
That's all you have to do is buy a house. Every community that we have purchased and we've tried to develop right here has had to have started at $6, $10, $15, $20, $30,000 or more because we needed it for development costs. This one, yeah, we still have to pay for the land. We got to buy everything. But the way we're going to configure this is different.
Yeah.
And it's going to work.
But
I need 50 people to buy.
And what we need right now, listen, we've had 2 videos on it. We shared their drone footage on there. And like I said before, we do not have to do this. But one of the things that we get all the time, and I see it in the comments, you see it in the comments, come to Arizona, come to California, come to Kansas, please come to New York, come to all these places. So what we want to do, we are trying to bring communities, bring it to people, affordable homes, affordable lot rents, and things like that. So that's why we're doing it. We don't have to do that. We could stay right here in Cott County and be fine. You know what I'm saying? We are trying to do the property in Southern Heights with the small homes. Don't know if there's going to be enough interest for that or not.
Right.
So what we need from you about this property is who's interested. How many people are interested and would want to do this?
Yeah.
And we always create a list. I love that about a list, having a list to go by. How many people are interested? And to contact us and let us know, would you be interested in this deal, in this property? If not, we'll just move on.
Scrap it and go.
We'll scrap it and go. It's not something that we're going to buy and get ourselves in a bond as a company. We're just not going to do that with any property.
We're offering, never have we ever offered a fixed rent, a long-term lease, and a no key money, anything. I know you said nobody likes this key money thing.
No, they did not like that term.
There's no deposit, there's no lot cost, there's nothing. Just come in, buy the house.
Kind of explain why there's no key money on this property.
I'm changing it. I'm changing the way we do things. I have to sell more homes to make it happen. But also, you know what the thing is, this land?
Now, this property had more.
Yes. Okay. The big deal is that there's already water there.
Yes.
The local power company is very easy to work with.
Yes.
There's nothing like Cott County here.
No.
We don't have to come up with the hundreds of thousands of dollars to do anything.
Right, correct.
And then
it's a different situation.
Yeah. And then the sewer, we don't have to put underground sewer to run everything. And then the great biggest thing is there's no roads to build.
Right. Exactly.
We got golf carts.
That's right.
And that's why, now, people are saying, they ask you, how am I going to get my house in there, right?
Right.
Okay. There's golf cart trails that we can take. You can take regular trucks. I actually drove around with Mark on a pickup truck.
You could, yes.
Now, the way we get homes in there, there's access. And we'll drive right up the fairway, right up the greens, right up the grass, and deliver all these homes, right? And set them up, put gravel and everything down.
Right.
We can pour concrete pads. We can do what we need to do there, you know? So there is access, and we're working with the local EMT fire department and how them access. I've also thought about, we're probably going to buy an all-terrain vehicle that if somebody needs to be transported out of their home, we can actually take and put them in that and bring them down like we're going to do on the mountain.
Right. And keep in mind, I mean, Randy and I were there on a golf cart and stuff. I didn't see anything that the EMTs could not reach us.
No way.
It's not like that. So you're not going to be...
It's not steep or nothing.
No, it's not like... We were there in a golf cart. So they're going to be able to access you with the ambulance and the fire trucks and everything. They can get in there.
We work with the local fire department and EMTs to work out this whole strategy.
Exactly, right.
And even though, okay, it's not typical, right? It's not going to be like, hey, you go down this street, boom, there's your address. It's like, but that's boring. That's where you don't have any creativity. Where we can still have the safety and everything that we need. It's just different.
Well, and too, just like here at Incredible Tiny Homes at Incredible Properties here, the forest, the beach, the prairie, and the grove, you know, we've got a fire committee together now.
Yeah.
So there's things that we do in our communities that keep people safe. Then residents want all that.
Yeah.
You know, we want that. So we encourage all of that to have the groups and make sure that everything's checked. And we keep in touch. Like you said, we're going to be very close with the police, very close with the fire and stuff like that.
Here they say, hey, I'm in the forest. So the local EMT knows to go to the forest.
Absolutely. They know that. It's marked.
And like here, I'm sure we'll have all this map goes to the local fire department.
They'll know exactly where you're at.
And it helps them.
Yeah, they know exactly where everybody is at here. We've had the ambulance. We've had the fire trucks
3 in
come
the morning,
here before.
man.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've had situations that's happened here before. They know how to find you. They will know how to find you.
So just the fact that we're aware of all those concerns means that they will be taken care of.
Yes.
That's okay. So all utilities.
What a deal. Can I just say what a deal? I mean, first 50 people, 30-year lease, long-term lease, $400 fixed rate, lot rent, and free delivery and setup of the home.
That's it, done.
I mean, if you're even remotely interested in coming to Tennessee or for a tiny home, this is your deal. This is it.
What I'm saying is they own this. You own that lease, and it's transferable
for 30 years.
For 30 years, it's transferable to the next person.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what I was talking about. Is it transferable?
Okay.
People were going to ask that. So, God forbid you're on there and somebody passes away. What happens to the lease?
Yeah. Either it's left to the heirs, right? They
inherit the lease.
They inherit the lease. Everything.
Okay.
It's like you own this.
Right, for 30 years.
It's yours.
Okay.
Buy, sell, trade, whatever you want to do.
Now, another thing that people are probably going to ask, what kind of restrictions are we going to have there? Will there be an HOA? People always ask about an HOA.
I do not like HOAs.
No.
All right. I don't want a board. I don't want a president. I don't want anything. And I want to keep it very simple.
Yep.
Right? So we will have on the lease, there is always restrictions of what you can and cannot do. You know, we're not going to have horses and pigs and
correct,
chickens.
because we want to protect the property. We want the property to look the way it is right now. We just want your house dotted in there. You have beautiful landscaping. You get to have, certain, people will ask about fences. We will have approved things if we want fences. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we don't know if that.
Not sure if we want to do that.
I can tell you this right now. I guarantee you. There will be specific outbuildings of design.
Yes.
Fencing will only have a couple selections that you have to have.
That you have to pick from.
And you have to have certain things to make it all look unique.
I agree, because
this is not a place you're going to come and just
homestead
and put your containers out on the outside and pile firewood outside.
Right, correct, exactly. So, and everything will be set up. That's why we want everything to be, when you buy the house gets built and everything, it gets taken over there, it gets set up and nice, and everything starts from then, from the very beginning.
Yeah, listen. And I said about firewood, I love a wood stove.
Yeah.
But I don't pile it up somewhere and it looks like it's just a pile and it's got vines growing all over it and grass growing up and the weeds aren't taken care of. I mean,
that's at my house.
Well, then you need to go buy 30 acres.
Then you go buy 30 acres and you go live in a place like that.
This is going to be a protected
area. This is not, put it this way, I'm not the type of person. Oh, it's not off yet.
Low battery.
Yeah, just low battery. But I'm not the type of person that could live in this type of community. I'm not that.
You're too loud.
I'm too loud. I've got too many dogs and stuff. There will be a limit on animals and stuff. That will be very strict. This is going to be a more strict property for people who like living like that. And it is going to stay beautiful. It's going to look like a picturesque magazine looking place all the time. We're going to make sure that it stays mowed, that it stays manicured, that everything is how it's supposed to be. And believe it or not, the majority of the people do like to live like that. Me, I live out in the woods. This is the way I've always lived, but that's what I enjoy.
Well, the Grove, right here, the Grove that we did, 72 homes. They are like that.
They are like that.
The fences are painted white.
Yes.
The trees are in, the landscaping's done. It's uniform. It looks
and we
really
did
good.
that specifically. It was a specific.
And it seems like they have better camaraderie there than any other kind of.
Well, they're very close. They stay close all the time. When you walk out on your porch, pretty much you're going to see another person on your porch.
Yeah.
You're forced to talk to each other in a way, but it's not that they don't enjoy that. They do enjoy it. But to say the forest here. The forest is more like my type of living, right? Not that it's like where my house is. You all have seen my house and stuff like that. I'm kind of like eclectic and everything everywhere. But the forest, you have that big, lot with all the trees and everything, and you do have wood outside. You do have your grill outside. You have more of a homestead type of, living outside. I like that,
I like the Grove.
And he likes the Grove, but that's fine. Everybody has their different ways that they like to live. So, but I'm telling you what, this is I mean, visually, it is just a beautiful, beautiful piece of property. The trees are already grown. They're already mature. Everything is already there. Instant landscaping as soon as you go in there.
Just financially, this is, I mean, you could actually put a house there and turn around and sell it. You're actually, Mandy, you could think about how easy, and I'm just, there's a lot of people watching this that know money and know practicality, right? If you bought a Birmingham, I'm setting it up on a lot for you. It's going to be ready to live in. You could turn around and sell it because the lot is yours for 30 years.
Right. Can you borrow on a leased lot?
Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't.
It just popped in my head. I'm just curious.
But you can turn around and sell it. If the lot is $30,000, $40,000, you made it. You're done.
Right.
I'd turn around and buy 5 more and keep doing it throughout the whole place. We're giving this value. It's already built into what we're doing.
Right.
So you guys.
And when do you start paying your rent?
When it's set up.
When the house is set up.
When it's set
Whether
up.
you're living in it or not, right? It's set up.
Yeah. So.
And everybody pays their own water, their own electricity, things like that. Yeah. Okay.
So the thing is now is how do we make this happen? Miss Susan's on here and she said, Randy, I want to go through with this.
Right.
I'm in. How do we go in and make this happen? What do they do to say I'm in on this? What do they do?
Well, they would call in. They would call in, or you email in, and you get yourself. You talk to the sales, which will be Will, or will it be Tim? Wouldn't it? Yep. Tim's taking care of this. So you call in, talk to Tim, get all the details of the house, which house that you want, tell him everything you want. Go ahead and start a contract, and go ahead and get it in the system.
How's it work financially?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you're requiring.
Well, we have a couple different ways.
Yeah.
To do a contract is $500. Right? That's a $500 fee. That's a contract fee, and it's applied to the purchase price of the house. Okay. So then in that contract, there is a time limit, right?
Okay.
Of when they're going to have to pay for the house.
Okay. Do we know what it is?
Right.
I don't know what the time limit is.
No.
The time limit.
No, I don't know what it is. We've went from 3 days to 7 and different areas.
Okay.
And it really depends on the development that we're doing. Now, this is, like I said, we're buying this property and it is for sale. So if we do not have enough people to buy it, we don't buy it. So it is time sensitive. These first 50 people, right? We need 50 folks and it's got to be paid in full.
Now this right here, so the $500 contract fee is non-refundable. But this will apply to the house. Is that right? Okay. Okay.
And people need time to get their money together. They got to call their bank or they got to refinance.
This locks you in. To me, this is what I call the list. You get on the list and you put your $500 down, get your contract filled out, and you're already in that. You're on there. You're secured in there.
But it's still not enough security for you and I.
No, right.
Because somebody could still pay their $500. I'm not interested.
Well, there's a time limit, you said, 3 or 5 or 7 days.
But we have to have, but after that 7 days, how much money you want? If they're going to buy a $120,000 home, right?
Well, they have to buy the home.
How much time? Okay, so in 7 days, they got to come up with $120,000, right?
Right. Right, because there's a time limit on the contract.
But that time limit is what's going to say, hey, we need the rest of this money.
Correct.
And that's how we're going to afford to buy the land and get your house ready to bring in here.
Yeah.
Okay? So
the contract is either 5 or 7 days. For some reason, I'm thinking it's 7 days, so I'm not sure. We'll check it out.
But let's say somebody says, Amanda, I've got to get with my bank. I've got to get my home appraised that I'm in right now. I'm going to get an equity loan, and it's going to take 30 days to get that loan processed.
Okay.
So what we would like to know for sure, if we know you're going to be one of the 50, right? And you're going to need more time than what your contract says, then what we need is a greater deposit. Okay? And at least a 20% deposit of the purchase price.
Right. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's
so
a good
we need
idea.
a 20, and that what happens is that's skin in the game. Now we know you guys are in it, and we don't care to wait on you.
If you need more time.
Say, hey, it's going to take me 30 days, Randy, to come up with that money. I've got to go steal something. Okay?
You did not say that. I'm going to take that out.
I mean, you never know.
What do you mean you never know? You don't say that. I'm taking that out.
So, you got 20% down. And now if you want to, at the time of that contract, you can put your 20% down right now. Say, hey, I'm going to give Randy 20% down on a Birmingham, right? And then, but I need 20, 30 days, whatever it is, for the full amount of it. I cannot buy this whole property with 20% down with everybody.
No.
Now, let's just say we don't get 50 people, all right? And we sell 10 of these $160,000 Amandas.
Right.
And we don't get enough people to buy. We give your money back.
Right.
That's what we do.
Yeah, if the project doesn't go, the money
We give
goes
you
back.
all your money back, every bit of it. We're gonna ask the first 50 people to purchase either a Birmingham. Okay, I'm gonna ask Birmingham for $120,000, or an Amanda, right? I know I'm writing fast. Is $160,000, right? You either pay in full or you can pay 20% down.
Right.
Now, the 20% down is a time-sensitive plan. We have to have the rest of this to build or to buy this whole entire project. We have to have everybody paid in full, the first 50 people.
Right.
All right. So if we only get 30 people in 30 days, we give everybody back their money.
Right.
Done.
If the project doesn't go forward.
Right. Now, let's just say you guys say for every contract, if you don't put the 20% down, you say, Randy and Amanda, we want in on this, but I want to sign a contract and I need to talk to my whatever and solidify this. There's a $500 contract fee. Now, it's non-refundable, but if you go through with your house, we apply that to the purchase price of your home, $500. This is just because we have to process a contract, and there's so many people that just want to do a contract, and we never hear from them again because they have no skin in the game. That's the only reason we do it, and we give it back to you on the purchase price. So if you say, hey, you send us a $160,000 check, right? You send it to us. And then it's on a Monday. And then on Wednesday, you say, I back out. I want my money back. We're going to give you back your money minus $500 for processing this contract. So you don't have to give us $500 if you're going to give us the full purchase price or 20%. But if you back out before the contract is up, we will subtract $500 for a contract fee of a processing fee.
Right, correct.
Okay? But that's how it works. So, you know, guys, it was just like when I gave the story about buying the property years ago when I bought my own piece of property. I waited till I had the money and then I bought it. I was not going to finance it. And that's the way we're doing here. We need 50 people to buy a $120,000 or $160,000 house, however that can figure. We can have 20 people here and 30 here, or 30 here and 20 there, however it's going to work. We just know we need to have about 50 people participate in this program to make it happen that we can buy everything.
And with the Birmingham and the Amanda, the models.
Birmingham and Amanda is the only ones we're offering right now. Like we said, later on, because of the way this thing is so spread out, we could actually put maybe other homes in styles and different communities in other areas of this golf course. It is, to me, this is the deal that this is what I've always wanted to do and never could do financially. Is all you have to do is buy the house. You don't have to do anything else. We deliver it. We set it up. We hook it up. We get it done. We put the water, power, sewer to it. You're ready. Now, you're going to have to put skirting on it. You're going to have to build you a nice deck, a carport, and all these other beautiful things that you want to put on it if you'd like. But we're going to set that house up just buying the home.
And when the house is set up, that's when your rent starts.
You got it.
Okay.
When we hook up all utilities, they say, you're ready to go, that's when the ticker starts going for the $400 a month. That is a 30-year lease, and your rent doesn't
for the first 50 people.
You got it.
All right.
That clears mud.
Clear as mud. Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
I like what Amanda said earlier. You know, this is not something that we have to do. It's not like we're saying this is going to make or break our company.
No.
You know, we have to build homes, and this is the way we stimulate. Hopefully, you guys are going to say this is a deal of a lifetime.
Yep, absolutely.
You know? And like I said earlier, you could put a home on here, turn around and sell it a month later, and include a cost of a lot in it because you own it for 30 years, and flip it and make money.
And another point I just want to make is that who's going to be building these homes is going to be our Amish in Kentucky.
Yeah.
So they're the ones who build the Amanda and they build the Birmingham. They build all of the model homes that we offer. So it's going to come from Kentucky, and the Amish do just a beautiful job.
Yeah.
There's 13 families right now. If the more of the need, there will be more families that come on to build.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so the timeline.
Yep.
You know, I talked to the local, actually the owner of the land, and he's from that area, and he'd talked to the power company, and that's probably the slowest thing we would need is 60 to 90 days is probably the power company could put the lots in. Our Amish, they're probably going to be, you know, they've got a list of homes to build, but some of those are out. People don't want their homes all right now. So if we start selling some of these, we can fit these into their timeline. And like you just said, there's more families that want to build.
Exactly,
you know? So they could up their productivity.
So, you know, in a realistic timeline of the very first house getting on the property and everything could be at what, the end of the year, first of the year?
Oh, well, in 90 days, we could have a home up there.
Okay.
I'm not saying we have all 50.
No, just
the first one. But we can start
bringing
bringing in homes.
Right, exactly.
And 90 it's 90
and
is 3
depending on
months.
the timeline of the, of course, the Amish, which is, you know, that's a pretty good.
I talked to John.
Yes.
John said, yes, Randy, we could actually, if we sold one today, they could probably start building it in about a month.
Yeah.
And it would take them 6 weeks to build it.
Sure.
So that's what I'm saying, 90 days to get that and get the home built and get it up there.
Okay.
And then they start
the process.
You know, some people I think going to buy this are going to say, hey, I don't need to get in till Christmas. I don't need to get in till next year. I don't
till
need
spring.
You know, not everybody's going to need like jump on it right now.
Right, exactly.
So, but that's why.
Which gives us time to build it, gives us time to get the hauler, get it delivered over there, get it set up. So we would be over there set up.
Yeah.
And two, probably another thing that we want to add is that if this project is a go, we are going to have somebody over there that's going to be overseeing this like all the time. So there may be somebody who lives over there that will be able to, you know, keep an eye on the homes, keep an eye on the property, things like that.
I think there's going to be a list of people want to live there.
There's going to be a lot of people that probably want to live there. I mean, it's gorgeous. So, yeah,
I think it's a good project because we've never offered the amenities like the 30-year lease, the fixed rate, and there's no key money, low lot, there's nothing. You just put your house on it.
And this, of course, is for new homeowners only. This is for new contracts. You can't have already have a home and want to go over to there.
Good point.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure and put that. And that's usually every time we've said that in almost every video of all of our communities and stuff. But this is for new customers only.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Sounds good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need.
And I'm going to add the drone video to the end of this so you can watch it again. It's just so pretty. And one of the things I want to bring up that, you know, I don't know what everybody thinks about it, but the landowner said the geese come with the property. So there are going to be geese on the property.
Yeah.
So there was probably about 50 or 60 geese that, you know, are going to be looming around that pond and stuff like that. So there are going to be geese.
There's a good sized pond. I don't know if it's 3 to 5 acre pond.
Yeah.
Almost like a small lake.
Yeah.
And they said it was deep. It was like 15-foot deep.
Really?
So it's got some life in it. It's got a lot of fish.
It was it was beautiful. And I showed that whenever Randy and I were going around there. I showed the water of the that was coming out of the pond. And so what do you call that?
Spillway.
Spillway, yeah. And my goodness, it was just beautiful water. The geese was out there having a blast out there.
Well, the pond is spring fed. There's a creek that runs into it. So it's not just like a runoff water.
Right.
So there's water running in, running out. The spillway is concreted.
Beautiful.
It's all done perfect.
Yeah.
It's all done right.
And if it is a go, we will have somebody that's over there who will be able to show people around and things like that and let you go around. We'll get a couple of golf carts over there and stuff for people to be able to tour the place. So we would just set up tours like we do here. So we would set up tours and things like that. But the first 50 people, I'm telling you what, if you have any interest at all, I wouldn't wait on this deal at all. Where in the world are you going to go that it is $400 fixed rate for 30 years, and then you get a 30-year long-term lease?
I know.
I've never heard of it.
Amanda.
Never.
If this doesn't go, it'll super surprise me.
Yeah, me too.
This is
something I want to bring up. That I guess the very first time I ever heard of it, it was from you and about Gatlinburg. So everybody is familiar with Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Gatlinburg, we get how many? 1 million. How many people do we get a year?
There was 14 million a year.
14 million a year, and I think something come out and it's more than that. We are the most visited national park in the country. Correct.
Correct.
Great Smoky Mountains. It's just unbelievable. Well, over there in Gatlinburg, Randy had told me, if you'd like to tell that story about the RVs, where that's the first time I ever heard about
the campground.
Long lease. Yeah.
Yeah. There's you actually it's like a 100-year lease.
Yeah.
Where you own the lot, and it's transferable.
And these campgrounds, right?
Yeah, and it's $300 a month.
Yeah.
And they take care of the stuff. They got a pool and some other things to offer. Years ago, those lots were 25 grand to get in them, right? So if you and I would have bought a lot 25 years ago for 25 grand, I've heard now they're over 100 grand.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, everybody knows Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg, they call it Little Vegas a lot of times. I mean, Gatlinburg is a big, big deal.
Yeah.
And the property values and the log cabin industry and the whole tourism industry over there has just skyrocketed. And it's getting nothing but bigger and better.
But for the first 50 people.
Right.
We're giving the lot for free for 30 years.
And what we know is that a lot of people are selling their homes and a lot of people are trying to downsize. This is the way to downsize right here. Sell your home. If you haven't already sold if you've sold your home, you've got the cash, you've got the money, go ahead and get this, get in there. It is safe. It's a good deal. Yeah. It's a good deal. So
and we're going on
and plus, and people need housing.
Yeah.
Regardless. I don't care what income you are, you need housing. Everybody's got to have somewhere to live, right?
Well, you know people right now, they're sitting in their chair and they're thinking, wait a minute, let me think about this. I know you got to get all this in your head, I think we're thinking it through actually the real benefit of what we're offering. I mean, we were excited about offering this today when we come on here and solidifying how we're doing this.
Yeah.
But when you really, really think about it, it's like, wow, there is that benefit. You're getting a free 30-year lot that's transferable that you can sell the home lot and everything together.
Right.
You don't have to move that house off of there if you ever want to leave.
Right.
So that's an equity.
Right.
Already built into this home. And the home itself is worth more than what we're selling it for. And we're free delivery and setup.
Right. So, absolutely.
I know I've said it 100 times. I don't know. I just want to make sure you guys understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And the deeds and restrictions and all that'll come into play. We really want it to be a beautiful community that's homegrown, that you guys enjoy living there. It's not going to be uptight. You're not going to have to wear a tie and you got to have everything perfect. We're not like that. But we just want to make sure that everybody's investment is protected.
Absolutely.
All
right.
Good.
Be sure and like this video. Be sure and share this video. Anybody that you think that is ready to move to Dunlap, Tennessee, be sure and research Dunlap, Tennessee. Tim went down there. We went down there. No, we're going to go back down there.
Next week.
And we're going to go back down there next week, and we're going to film a lot of the town and everything. Tim did a good job. He just went on his own. He wanted to go see the place himself, videoed a little bit here and there, but we want to go through the town and show everybody what it offers, what it's like. Maybe talk to some people there, maybe talk to the police there, talk to the some of the officials there, something while we're there. And but man, it is one beautiful piece of property, and the town, it looks like one beautiful little tiny community. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping Monday morning we wake up to a lot of folks saying, I'm in.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thank you guys, and be sure and watch this drone footage because it's stunning.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what? And remember, the geese go with the land. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.